Good morning, everybody. It's Mark here. All right. So what I want to talk about today is the actual process from the day I made the phone call when I decided I wanted this boat to the day I picked it up. I think a lot of people have questions about the entire process and things that you don't think about along the way. So, number one, I decided on, December 15th, I went in early in the morning for surgery, and I had seen on Facebook a Tracker Marine post that boat was going on sale December 15th. I couldn't make it that day on account that I had 10 inches of my intestines taken out, so I was pretty immobile for a while. The first day that I felt well enough to drive up to Phoenix to buy it was December 28th. So that's what I did. Before that, I made a phone call to Tracker Marine and wanted to know about the buying process. And when I called Tracker Marine, they had mentioned that a $500 deposit would get the process started, and then the amount would be due at delivery, whether you were financing or paying cash. So I thought about that, I hung up, and I decided I would rather just go do it in person. So on December 28th, I drove up to Mesa. I was there when the store opened about 10 a.m. It was dead. I walked in, found a salesman named Tim. At any rate, I cornered him, and they didn't have any to look at. So, it's tough to buy something that you can't see, but it's basically the Pro 170 with a little different casting deck. So you kind of get the idea when you look at a Pro 170 what you're getting. Now, there is a big difference between Tracker Marine's quote for what it takes to start the process and at the store in the Bass Pro Shops in Mesa. So when it came time to do the paperwork, I was only asked to put down $250, which is $250 less than Tracker Marine over the phone quoted me for the down payment process. I don't know why that is. It was pretty painless though. Right away, you got this piece of paper. I'm not gonna blow it up or anything, but it just talks about how much it costs. It's $9,995. Freight and prep brings that up to $11,045. We have a state tax of $695.84. Thanks, Arizona. And we also have a city of Mesa tax. There are filing fees of $168.50. There's a document fee for $200. So the total price of this boat out the door without down payment was $12,302.62. Now deduct my $250 down payment I put down December 28th, and that brings you to $12,052.62. That, in a nutshell, was how that day went. I got in my car and drove home and got back in bed. The next part of the process was waiting, sitting there, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I somewhat expected Bass Pro Shops to update me. Maybe you get that treatment when you're buying the $60,000 models. Nobody called me. I had to do all the reaching out until a week before I took delivery, when they called to tell me that my boat was here. If you guys are expecting updates and stuff, you're gonna have to do that on your own. And when I did call for updates, there wasn't much to talk about. Basically, their system said it was ready for production. If they tell you 16 weeks, it's gonna be 16 weeks. I wouldn't hope for a 12-week delivery. It's just not working out that way for folks. They told me 5 to 6 weeks. It was almost exactly 6 weeks. Take that and do what you will with it. Financing, they offer their own financing through White River Financial, I believe it's called. They'll loan you boat for 144 months, which I think is ludicrous. Not many people keep a boat for over a decade, so to pay for one for over a decade seems kind of foolish. I chose to go with my own credit union financing. I put a bunch down, and I have a tiny payment for 5 years. And there's no penalty to pay it off. Either financial institution. If you buy it from White River, you can also pay it off with no early payment penalty. My bank's the same way. I just chose my bank because that's who I've been using, and it's all set up. I can have it deducted, whatever. From what I understand, the financing through White River is pretty simple, but their interest rates are all over the place. Anywhere from 5.25 to 17, I've heard. I was able to get mine for 6% from my bank. You have to have your financing in place before you take delivery, and that is non-negotiable. You also have to have your insurance policy in your hand before they'll let you take the boat off the lot. And I don't know if that's financed or if you own it. I don't know what the policy is there. I mean, obviously I financed part of it, but insurance for this boat, $120 a year. I think if I want to up the coverages, I don't know that I'll be fishing in any tournaments in this boat. I'd like to, maybe small ones. And a lot of tournament series force you to have $300,000 bodily injury insurance. So I don't think my coverage is that high for 120. I've heard to get coverage that high, you're looking at around $200 a year. Still cheap for what you have. And you know, if something happens to it, $200, I believe it's a $500 deductible. But you know, when you're talking about items in the thousands of dollars, that's a small price to pay to replace it. Insurance. Bring your insurance. Make sure you have a copy. Make sure it's set up, or you're going to be bummed at the dealership trying to handle that. All right, the day of delivery, my wife and I and our kids got in the car and drove up there. We got there about 15 minutes early. I noticed the boat sitting out in front of their service area, as well as a Tracker Pro 170 sitting next to it, both of them waiting for delivery. Our delivery time was 10 o'clock. Service center opens at 9, so they had prepped it and they were ready for us. So I snuck in there and checked it out. I wanted to look at it before I gave them a check. I mean, it makes sense, right? What if there was something I just didn't like, or, you know, some damage that was just obscene? I did a small walk around just to make sure there was nothing out of the ordinary or anything that I was going to squawk about. I would rather do that before I hand them a check than after I hand them a check, if you know what I mean. Went in, handled our paperwork business. We got all kinds of stuff. 2 sets of keys, 2 plugs, all the literature that comes with it, boat manual, owner's guides for the trolling motor, the Mercury motor, the Lowrance 3X, which is going away. Again, that's for sale. If anybody wants to buy it, leave a comment below and we can talk. You know, you get all this literature. I haven't read it yet, but I should. I understand how most of this stuff works. You also get this folder with all of your info in it, such as your trailer temporary plate, your registration. It's a brand new boat, so it's never been stickered up. There's no numbers, there's no letters. That information's gonna come in the mail telling me what to put on the boat as far as the orientation of the numbers and letters. I thought about doing orange numbers just to kind of keep the theme, but I think we're going to keep it simple and just go black. When that comes, then we can take that step. I was also told that you could take the boat out without any of this numbering or trailer plate, as long as you have this documentation on you, per the chance you get hassled. My insurance card, I have that on my phone, so you don't really, it's up to you if you want to keep an extra one. It never hurts to have extras of anything laying around, but when you're on a boat with no storage, I want to keep it to a minimum. I'm also keeping all of my receipts. The day I took delivery, they were having a sale on Fish Finder, so I bought one. I was able to get $15 in bonus bucks buying that unit at that price, as well as a $25 gift card. And what I found was when I went to use, you get a rewards card for buying the boat. And there's some difference in opinion on how long it lasts. Their website says 2 years. The salespeople told me a year, so I don't know. But it's 20% off of anything Bass Pro Shops related, and they have several brands under their name. And then you get 10% off of everything else. Now there is a caveat. You cannot use this discount card on electronics. So if you're thinking about getting 20% off your Fish Finder, it's not going to happen. I'm keeping these receipts because a couple of purchases I made, for whatever reason, the rewards card wasn't linked to my purchase. I'm going to take in a stack of receipts and make sure all of those rewards points go onto my card, because at the end of the day, it equates to money. And if you have, you know, 10, 15 bucks, there's a couple bags of plastics, you know, there's something. You can buy a shirt, whatever, but it's free money and you want to manage it. You don't want to just let them have it back. Take advantage of these reward systems and, you know, it'll benefit you. Not a whole lot, but, you know, 15 bucks, 10 bucks, it's still 10, 15 bucks, right? All right. So after doing the paperwork, we walked out of the sales office and down into the service center and out to the boat, where I met Jerry, who is going to be my technician on my boat. And he walked us through everything, showed us how everything worked. It was a great experience. I did lose a hubcap, a Moon hubcap, between Mesa Bass Pro Shops and Casa Grande, Arizona, which isn't very far. I called them a couple days later and they have one ordered, and it should be there next Friday when I show up to have the Fish Finder installed. That was also part of the promotion when I bought the Fish Finder, was free installation, bonus bucks, and a $25 gift card. Now that gift card elevated depending on how much you spent. I spent $3.99. It fell into a $25 gift card category. Had I went up another $1 to $400 and up, it would have been like I want to say a $30 or a $40 gift card, but you know, I got what I wanted, so it is what it is. After the walkthrough, we went to put the trailer on the SUV and found out the trailer comes with a 5-pin circular plug. When I had the hitch installed on my truck, they put on a 4-blade on my end. And when we got there, I saw that was going to be a problem. And when we went to hook it up, we realized they don't mate. Bass Pro Shops quickly Tried to put an adapter plug in, that didn't work. So they ended up hacking off their 5-pin round plug and adding a flat plug on the trailer end, and voila, it was perfect. It did come at a cost. I had to buy the plug from Bass Pro Shops for $6. No charge for labor. So $6 to make it right was a small price to pay. And everything's perfect now. So we trailered her up and drove it home, and now it sits here. Next week we are going fishing for sure on Thursday. I'm trying to get out this weekend. I just don't know if it's gonna happen. Things are crazy. Baseball season's kicking up for both kids, and you know, life gets in the way, but this boat's gonna see a lot of action in the future. It's just shitty timing. The weather here kind of sucks. It's freezing ass cold for Arizona this time of year. Thank you guys so much for watching, leaving comments, liking things. It's really given me more incentive to continue on and continue showing you guys, you know, what's in the boat and what can be done to the boat. I understand I'm the only person in the world doing this. I hope more of you guys jump on board and we can share ideas, and look forward to seeing you on the water. Have a great day, everybody.